Anyways, let's check out this Shane stuff. Screw it. Let's do this. Just hanging out. Yeah. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitch, by the way. RealStreamLive. It's in the description. Make sure you guys check me out there because my schedule is set and I'm gonna start doing that stream. Like after today, after Monday, so it's gonna be Wednesday. I'm gonna be streaming that. I'm gonna be starting there on Wednesday. So make sure you guys follow me on Twitch. I'm going to be there. I did fix my settings just now, so I'm good. Anyways, so we're gonna be talking about Blaire White as well and Shane Dawson, and I think that Blaire White got tricked into exposing this stuff about James Charles. I really do. I think she got tricked into it. I don't think she was supposed to necessarily shit on Jeffree Star, but she did anyways. Let's talk about Shane first. Shane is getting some backlash from the Smiths. Anyways, so this is the video that they're upset about.
Oh, Willow. Oh, I'll whip your hair back and forth. Oh.
What the fuck, dude?
Oh, Willow. Oh, I'll whip your hair back and forth. Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. So I think we don't even know if the voice memo is legit. I think that Blaire might have jumped the gun, and I think it was something that Jeffree didn't want to put out himself. And I wouldn't doubt it if this was almost going to come out during the series with Jeffree Star and with Shane Dawson, but because it wasn't credible enough, Jeffree was trying to find somebody else to leak it for him. You know what I'm saying? So he went to a drama channel that covers pedo allegations like Chris Hansen and and Blaire White, and then what happens next? A month later, Blaire White can't control her conscience anymore, so she starts talking about it. I think it's exactly what Jeffree wanted. I don't think he wanted her to shit on him, but I don't think she gets it. I'm gonna skip to that real fast. Actually, I want to go right to that. So, like I said, I think Blaire White was tricked. Yeah, pedophilia isn't funny. No, I think Blaire White is tricked into doing this, and I don't think she understands. Like, when people bring me content, you always need to think like, why are they bringing this to me, and like, what's going on here? What's the motives? This is crazy. I really do think Blaire bit on this, and I think Blaire's a good person. I do. I just think they just didn't realize what was going on. Jeffree's very calculated. When that Bi Sister video came out, that destroyed James Charles for a little bit. And I think that's what Jeffree wanted. I think he wanted James gone. And now with these allegations out, it's gonna kick right up again. But I gotta be honest, if I was Blaire White, I wouldn't have put out that video because, first of all, you don't have the person even backing the claims. So all you have is you saying, "Oh, I heard a voice note. You gotta believe me." And honestly, that's not good enough for these types of situations. I'm sorry. Like I trust Blaire and all that, but they're not good enough. That's never gonna get somebody to even start an investigation. That's just hearsay. You know what I mean? I think it's just another game that Jeffree's playing. That's all I think this is. I mean, if you noticed, Jeffree's getting exposed, Shane's getting exposed. I just think this is a fallout from all these friendships, like, imploding. That's all I think this is. That's all I think this is. Nothing more. I think this is what Jeffree does when he ends friendships and stuff. I think he just destroys lives. I would never put a video out like there without getting an expert to analyze the recordings. I mean, there is no proof. I mean, if you heard a video clip, all right, great. I mean, there's a reason why Drama Alert didn't put that out. I mean, they even heard about it on their platform. I mean, Jeffree shopped it around to them. I mean, look, he was hinting that there's something. He's like, there's a reason that Nathan banned James Charles for ever coming around the house again. Like, he's just trying to tease this to everybody. Everyone keeps asking me for the receipts. I have so much to say. And some really sad, disgusting things to show you guys. James Charles tried to mass manipulate you all. Like, it's crazy. He says he got proof. And, he was acting all spooky and shit. And then he went on Chris Hansen. He said nothing. He pretty much, was like, oh, I lied. I didn't see Davi do anything. I just lied. You know what I mean? It was a bunch of bullshit. He was just, pretty much just appearing on his show just to appear on his show. That's it. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. But anyways, I don't know what to say about this, guys. I think this is like a setup to just fuck with Blaire and to fuck with James Charles. That's what I think this is. 100%. Listen to what Jeffree Star had to say on the podcast with you know, like Keemstar and shit, and Banks. Check this out.
Okay.
Real quick, is James Charles a danger to society? Is he a predator?
Keem. Listen.
That was a long pause. Long ass fucking pause though.
I have to ask this.
Listen. There's a long pause because it's a very complicated situation. So before I answer, the ending, Banks, was me, James, and Tati all making peace so the internet can go back to being the internet, because it was getting so ugly and dark. But
it got crazy.
yeah, so
I hopped in a little
so
bit.
people do want to put together the parallels of this 10-year situation and me saying this stuff about James. It's a very complicated question. And why?
I know, but like
Complicated,
it's the same scenario though, because like if James is actually a danger, right? Then this is the opportunity, like the Darby thing, where you can say something. You know what I mean? Or is like maybe you shouldn't have put that tweet out. Like which one is it? Like I'm sorry, Jeffree, but I have to ask.
No, and I'm 100% comfortable with that.
So-
It's going to upset a lot of people, but the truth.
So realize that, you know, you have one of these megastars on a platform with one of the biggest drama channels, if not the biggest drama channel on the platform, teasing, you know, that he knows something about James Charles. So right here, I think this is the first time, or maybe not the first time, I think this is the first time, like first publicly, you know, we've seen him tease that he knows some more, you know, about this recording and this voice note, and then we hear more about it with Blaire.
Is that someone, and right now I legally can't say who, told us a few things, and we trusted that person's opinion, and then another person said some things that was friends with that man, and it really convinced us that he was a predator.
Is this another case of what happened before with the other guy?
No, this is some.
Is there a possibility of that?
I mean,
because I mean, they would.
look, realize what type of person Jeffree Star is. He's the type of person that will call you a predator or a rapist, you know, just because he's mad at you. Like, listen, there are people out there like that. I mean, look, people have done it with me. There's Repzilla. There's people out there who will do it just because they either don't like you, they don't want to see you come up. People in this industry are grimy as fuck, you guys, you know, and they will come up with these crazy fucking schemes to, you know, get ahead and get rid of their fucking competition. And James Charles is motherfucking competition.
Telling you about this guy, which turned out to be true now. Is this possible with James?
From what I remember with all the drama, you didn't actually ever say flat out like you saw it. Like it was always in the proper context of like, listen, like I'm speaking about this from kind of the view of like the circle of people.
Look, there's nothing there, or he would have came out and said it. That's the bottom line. And I think he probably went to Shane about it, and Shane's a little bit more low key about this drama shit and was like, listen, you don't even have, you know what I mean? You don't even have the fucking evidence. So you can't put this out. And, you know, I think he was just like, fuck it then. I'm just going to have somebody else do it. And then he started talking to drama channels. Then he started talking to fucking, I mean, why else would you talk to a drama channel so big like Keemstar, who puts everything out, regardless if he's friends or not? And then you have, you know, you bring it to Blaire White, who's hunting predators just like fucking Chris Hansen. And you go to Chris Hansen to boot. You see what I'm saying? It's all ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's so obvious that he was trying to get this out. It's so obvious.
That we've been discussing this with kind of sort of thing. Like, I don't think it's similar in the sense that you flat out said, I saw some shit. You know what I mean?
Similar enough. I'm sorry. It's similar enough.
I'm lost. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's similar, but it's people that are in our community that are saying.
And you know what's crazy is these people are actually scared of this dude. They really think they're going to end up dead. Like, no joke, Blaire White said, if I end up dead, it was Jeffree Star. And I'm like, do you really think he's that serious, bro? He just makes it seem like that on his fucking videos. He's got money. That's about it, dude. Like, what do you mean? Like, if I wind up dead, are you fucking serious? Like, he's got this whole industry fooled, like, for real.
Things, and I don't know if they're true or not.
But this is exactly the same thing that happened before, right?
Exactly.
It's actually not.
Exactly.
So if
How
you
is it not? You literally said that fucking. You said, listen. You were like, oh, you know, I fucking saw Davi Vanity take, you know, pull chicks in who were young, and then when it comes down to it, nah, you didn't, because you're a fucking liar. You just say things to get her to fuck somebody's reputation up, because that's you, dude. That's you.
want, we can pause and I can go in another room and play Banks what I have on my phone, and he can determine if he would have sent the same tweet.
What does that mean? It means nothing. You don't have, listen, if you don't have evidence and you have another person coming forward, you have shit. You don't have a fucking thing.
At the end of the day, I'm not going to out a victim of James Charles.
Okay.
Yeah, we
If it's real, because I don't know if it's real, and I'll go in the other room and play it for you.
These subjects to the
It's
subject
so
that we've been
because everyone wants to make me you ruined James Charles' career. No, Tati did and uploaded a 40-minute video about him, and she should have never uploaded that.
Yeah, that's why.
But she did, and for some reason, James thinks that me and Shane tried to ruin his life and orchestrated the whole thing. Like we fucking care.
Okay, so I have started and stopped this video 13 times because I am that nervous and scared to make this video. You know, in the past, I've definitely not been scared of speaking against powerful people or people with more influence, money, resources, etc. than frankly I'd ever hope to have. But for some reason in this instance, I most definitely am, which probably tells you something. And to be frank, as I'm sitting here, tells me that this is probably the exact right thing to do. If I'm this scared to do it, then I probably should be doing it. The idea of doing this video is something that I've gone back and forth on, and that has weighed very heavily on my conscience for about a month, preceding a very
everybody's canceled.
Disturbing FaceTime call I had with Jeff.
Everybody's canceled except me. No, listen, I'm uncanceled now. It's been so long. I'm uncanceled, and that's it. That's how life works, guys. That's it. Now everybody else is canceled. Sad shit. Sad shit. Wow.
Preceding a very disturbing FaceTime call I had with Jeffree Star, who this video is about, as well as other people this video is going to be about as well, which I'll bring in. I was put in a very bad position by Jeffree Star that I don't feel like I deserve to be in.
Listen.
To where...
Don't even get me started, you motherfuckers. Listen, I don't know about my numbers now, but as of last month, I was the highest, rated streamer in Rhode Island. I don't know about right now, but last month I was, and fucking YouTube, man, I don't know. But we'll get there again.
I was told things that I'm either silent about and then therefore in a way complicit with some really messed up crap, or I speak about and then put my shit on the line. And I don't feel like it's fair for me to be in that position. And I finally broke yesterday and talked to my childhood best friend about this. And I said, should I be talking about this? I'm scared. She said very plainly, and she's very removed from YouTube and YouTubers and this whole f***ed up world. And she was very honest and said, if this is the right thing to do, if this is where your heart is, then there's no other question. All the consequences, this person having, influence or power or whatever, it doesn't matter. If it's the right thing to talk about, it's the right thing to talk about. So I'm just gonna do it. So contrary to what I think some people think, I have never met Jeffree Star. We are not friends. He had me blocked for many years on Twitter because I was critical of some of his very bad behavior. And a year ago, if you guys remember, when he launched some accusations against James Charles,
were you canceled?
Specifically that James Charles is a sexual predator.
Do you want to be?
I was live saying that Jeffree was a mess for that because he's refusing to provide receipts for that claim. He was promising to provide them and then back.
Well, honestly, you're kind of doing the same thing right now, Blaire. I mean, I hate to say this because I like you, but you saying hey, you got to just trust me, Jeffree gave me these receipts. I think you fell into a trap. I think Jeffree did this to you on purpose. I really do. I think you fell into a trap and you made a video, and I think he did it on purpose,
off and said, I don't want any part of the drama. Here is my opinion. Jeffree has no receipts. I think Jeffree was loving the downfall of James, and now that it's backfiring, he wants to dip out. And I keep saying you can't put your toe in and then your toe out. He didn't put a toe in. He body slammed his way in, tried to ruin this kid's life. And now he's saying, I'm in a really bad place. It's a really dark place for me. And I don't want to do this. And first of all, sexual predation is not drama, as a rape rape survivor, I don't feel that it's drama. So I need to be specific about how he came into contact. He reached out to me via DMs on Twitter. And the reason he reached out to me is because of this. And please keep this in mind, because I'm going to come back to this later. I typed out Jeffree's first name in response to someone on Twitter.
DC, what you doing? You got something to say? Once you come through Discord, you got something to say? I'm curious on your thoughts on this. I really am. You sound like you have an alternate opinion that might be that might need to be heard about this situation. Kind of curious.
A reply tweet, not a main feed tweet, saying, I'm thinking about doing a video specifically about Jeffree's involvement with Davi Vanity because it's really shady. He then was in my DMs with a quickness to, in my opinion, put out a fire. He didn't want my video to be made, so he came in my DMs, requested a FaceTime. We most definitely FaceTimed. And this, by the way, this video is not about Davi Vanity, okay? This is just a backdrop of how we came into contact.
Fucking Davi Vanity. Fucking Davi.
And basically, he manipulated me into not going forward with my video, said that a bunch of the things that were out there were fabricated. A lot of the receipts I planned on using were fabricated, was very convincing about it. And then a few days later, went on Chris Hansen, went back on all of that, and basically showed himself to lie to me. He said a lot of the things were fake, and then went back and said they were real on Chris Hansen. But again, that is just point A. This is not the point of this video. That's how he came into contact. So, however the conversation proceeded, it got to him asking me, so what's your opinion of James Charles? And keep in mind, a year ago, he called James Charles a predator and then refused to back it up with the receipts he promised he had. I told him my honest view, which is one that I was public with a year ago when it happened, and said, I felt like if you were going to call him a predator and promise that you had the receipts, you should have proven it, and you should have provided those receipts.
Like, really? We should hear him release that. You should reach out to the victim and be like, hey, listen, is it all right if I release this? Or, you know, like, I don't know, this whole thing, if you don't have a victim, if you don't have somebody speaking out, you really don't have anything. That's the problem with this whole situation. You know what I mean? You don't really have anything if you don't actually have a victim, you know? Like, that's the whole thing, guys, you know? That's just, it is what it is. I don't know what to say. Hello.
How you doing?
Hello, DC Media Girl. How are you today?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Yeah. Listen, I love when you come on. You are always, you know, you always talk that real type of shit that we need to hear. I love that. No bullshit. You know what I mean? I love that.
Thanks.
So, how are you today?
I'm fine. I streamed about this mess last night.
You did? Oh,
yeah.
Man. Hey, how are your numbers right now? Like, I'm getting killed right now. Like, when it comes to, like, they're not sending out notifications, nothing. Like, I'm getting...
Same here.
It sucks. Like,
same here.
Is this just
my numbers are terrible.
The COVID shit? Is that what it is? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a glitch on their end, but I've got a lot of people complaining that they're not getting notifications.
Yeah, this is crazy. It's almost making you want to take a break. I mean, it's that bad, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, last night I couldn't because... this whole Blaire White insertion of self into this story was like all that we needed. You know, this was like all we needed. I don't approach this the same way you do. I'm not fond of Blaire White. I think that Blaire has done some great stuff, which I salute her for. I think it's great that she went after, you know, Yaniv and people like that. But the truth is that Yaniv is very low-hanging fruit.
That's true.
Very low-hanging fruit.
That's true.
And, you know, she was one of the big 4 or 5 or whatever who kept on going on Hansen, even though she knew damn well that, you know. Then she said...
that the Titanic was going down type of shit.
Exactly. I mean, It's Not Rocket Surgery did a fantastic video 2 videos back where she talked exactly about this. About people who knew damn well, who had known for a long time that Hansen was a grifter and all that.
And this is why I got so upset. And by the way, I think I forgot to mention you. DC Media was one of the first that knew about this. And this is why I got so upset, because all these people who were pushing that Hansen agenda, like now, after everything Hansen's done and got it away with, now, just because he's selling it to Investigation Discovery, now they're turning on him and they're acting like this is some big revelation. It's crazy. It's like, dude, we knew this was going on. You just acted like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I didn't see the first part of your stream, but I'm assuming that you said, now that I got hammered on Twitter the other day.
I'm sure.
Because I was saying that I thought it was a little bit much for certain people to come out, or people who had been longtime fans of Shane's to come out now and say, "Oh my God, look at all these videos he made." Well, they were there.
Yeah,
he didn't take them down.
I gotta be real. Some of these people that have come out against him, they're literally like nothing. There's like one that was like, he had his hand around my waist when we took a picture, and I was 10 years old, and he said, "Good girl." Right. He said, "Good girl," and then walked away. You were taking a fucking picture. What do you want him to say? He's never met you in your entire life. Right. What? It's so strange. Like, this is what happens. Listen, this happens when any allegations happen. It's happened to me. I've seen it happen. When anybody gets accused of something, you get all the fucking idiots. They come out of the woodwork, and anybody you've talked to, breathed on, or had a handshake with, all of a sudden now they're a victim. That's how it works.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Well, the other thing, too, is that, did you talk at all about Jada Pinkett Smith and Jaden Smith?
Yes, I did. Yes. Briefly.
You did? Okay.
Briefly.
You realize that video that he made, the Willow Smith video, he made like 8 or 9 years ago, right?
Yep. I find it weird that they didn't know about that. You know, that's strange.
They had to have known about it. There's no way they didn't know. At that time, Will Smith, I looked it up. Will Smith was worth around $130 million. And in Hollywood, look at all the people that these celebrities employ. Managers, agents, PR people, private investigators, Ray Donovan types, Anthony Pellicano types, and if there's one thing that they are very, very sensitive about, it's the way that people talk about their children, because for obvious reasons, those children are very high kidnap risks, So, for the Smiths to come out now, or for Shanna Moakler and Travis Barker to come out now and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe the way he talked about, Alabama, the way he did about their daughter." Well, again, that was years ago, and I have to wonder.
So, what do you think now, though? What do you think? Do you think it should be canceled or no? Do you think it should be canceled?
I have to wonder, honestly, whether these people, because even back then, Shane was huge. He was a massively popular internet celebrity with a very young audience, exactly the kind of audience that these people want to attract. I think that nobody wanted to go after good guy Shane, for being a jerk. It's one thing if you go, like when Rice Gum came after Alabama Barker or said stuff about her, Travis Barker was on that with a quickness, immediately responded, immediately said something. And I just think that people didn't want to get on Shane's bad side. I find it impossible to believe that these celebrities who have Google searches on themselves, Google keyword alerts and everything else, that these people would not know that Shane was making this type of content back then. I just don't buy it.
I don't know what to make of this whole situation. I don't know. Do you think that he's going to be canceled for good or no? What do you think?
I think that Shane made a huge mistake in that he did not hire a professional crisis management team at least 2 weeks ago to craft his statements, to walk him through this exactly the way that I suspect James Charles did. And look at how well that turned out for James. It turned out very well for James. I think Shane is simply under the impression that he is indestructible, just like Jeffree Star is also under the same impression.
Do you think that Jeffree set that whole thing up with Blaire? Because I really do.
I find this whole incident with Blaire to be really. I don't want to say anything too much because I'm speculating just like everybody else is. But
just think about this. She felt so strongly to release a video with zero evidence, no survivor, and a voice note she doesn't even have.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Why? Why?
Unverified.
Like, why make the video?
Unverified audio file.
Yeah, why make the video? You haven't even verified it either. Like, it kind of makes me question how she makes her videos, honestly.
Well, all that I know about Blaire, the reason that, I started off as a huge fan of Blaire's. I thought Blaire was really interesting. Even though I didn't agree with a lot of her political views, I thought that she was very unusual. She was unique, and I appreciated her voice. I found what she had to say very interesting. But in 2016, Blaire, along with TJ Kirk and a bunch of other YouTubers, were openly and proudly spreading fake news. Fake news that we now know, thanks to the Mueller investigation and the investigation of Roger Stone, was being spread by Roger Stone with the aid of WikiLeaks. And it was, there are a lot of people who speculate that WikiLeaks is a front for Russian intelligence. I have no reason to say that it isn't. It looks that way. But that whole Hillary health hashtag, where people were saying that Hillary had Parkinson's, that Hillary was sick, that she had some sort of neurological problem and all that, that was a dirty trick that was orchestrated and spread on WikiLeaks, then through InfoWars, the Drudge Report, and then finally through these YouTubers. And it didn't matter that Hillary Clinton had gotten a clean bill of health from her doctor, that all that. So that's when I started to give her the side eye. Blaire is the kind of person who will insert herself into any story.
Yeah, I just
to get attention.
But can you explain this to me? Why do these YouTubers do this? And look, I like Blaire. I like Blaire. But this is to me, I wouldn't have done this because,
me neither.
Because
Never.
you need evidence to back this stuff up. You know what I mean? It's a big deal. You're going up against Shane. I'm sorry. So you're going up against Jeffree Star. You should probably have all your ducks in a row, right? It just seems odd to me that she would just make a video with no evidence and be like, "Hey, you just gotta believe me, guys." I'm sorry, Blaire. I like you and everything, but that's not enough for these situations.
Wait, what? Hey, yo. Wait, what? Hey, yo. Wait, what? Hey, yo. Wait, what? I